thousands of fans queued up as early as 3 in the afternoon in hopes of getting the hottest tickets in town here at the Cuneta Astrodome. It is a blockbuster Sunday night showdown between two of the most popular teams in the league. Ginebra and San Miguel fans are in for a treat as both squads are about to vie in what could be an unforgettable battle for survival. All eyes are on these hardcore heroes who know what is on the line, and to lead them in this war are two of the finest coaching minds. Tang wants to continue his mastery over John Wichico in the playoff series, and a win will mark the first playoff win of Wichico against Tangkinsen. You know what, folks? This is just the first part of this awesome rivalry. Tension is rising. Players are telling me they're beyond nervous. They're totally anxious and excited to start this battle right here in what could spell the difference between survival or the end of their series. The game at hand, of course, we have a tied 1-1. We have this quarterfinals game 3 between Barangay Ginebra Kings and, of course, a San Miguel Beermen in a no tomorrow contest. I'm Patricia Bermudez. He's on doing courtside duties for CS9, and I'll be trying to give you guys as much insights as possible to make this game even more interesting, but no sugar on spice needed for this battle, as fans are already waiting on how these people got here and how this wonderful series will end. And just take a look at our playoffs picture just to give you guys a refresher on how they did get here. The Barangay Ginebra Kings actually got to this series getting an outright quarter-final seat. Meanwhile, the San Miguel Beermen were able to sharpen their saw as they defeated the Coca-Cola Tigers and then the Air 21 Express in the wild card series. Now let's take a look at these two teams' do-or-die records, which is really interesting because after that they vie for a best-of-7 semifinal series against the Talk and Text Phone Pals. Now, their do-or-die records actually say a lot on how these two teams will be doing in this ball game right here. The San Miguel Beermen, since last season, have a 3-2 record in a do-or-die game, and of course, they've won their last 2. And for the Barangay Ginebra Kings, they won their last 3, but the record is 3-1. Well, this can only say that you have to fasten your seatbelt because this do-or-die contest right here will just blow you away.
It can't get any more dramatic than this. Sibling rivalry at its best. You've got San Miguel Beer versus Ginebra.
Dondon Hontiveros, he answers back with a 3-point floater of his own. Hontiveros drives and he lays it in. Dondon Hontiveros, after a cold first half, is starting to heat up. He is sizzling hot. Dondon Hontiveros.
He kept San Miguel's flag flying in the second half.
And the San Miguel Beermen take game 1 of this quarterfinal matchup against Barangay Ginebra.
Although we're still not out of the woods, I mean, it's one game now. They're very much capable of coming back.
San Miguel Beer, with a victory today, will move on to the semifinals. Barangay Ginebra, should they pull off a victory here, will have a 3rd game in this quarterfinal matchup. Tubin in the lane with a finger roll and 1. Ronald Tubin is pumped up. And Barangay Ginebra will pull it off. And we're going to have a game 3 in this series.
Where else can you give the credit to but to the players that did not give up despite all the adversities and all the disadvantages that we have? Yun ang naman nagdadala sa amin yung fighting heart as a champion. And I hope we can carry that over to Sunday's game.
Do or die, win or go home, sudden death Sunday, no matter how you want to call it, this is why basketball fans love PBA basketball. The team that wins today goes into the semifinals. Hello everyone, welcome live here at the Cuneta Astrodome. I'm Jude Torquato. With me in this sudden death Sunday matchup, Quinito Henson.
Well, you have both teams so evenly matched, Jude. And if you take a look at both games in the quarterfinal series so far, both games were decided in the last second, and the margin of difference was just 1 possession. 1 point difference in game number 1 and a 3-point difference in game number 2.
Well, you talk about the first 2 games. Let's take a look at the other numbers and the other statistics that happened during game 1 and game number 2 for these 2 squads.
Well, key in the statistics is in the three-point field goal percentage. Now, Barangay Ginebra, if you see here, is just shooting slightly better than San Miguel. But if you were to break it down according to numbers, Barangay Ginebra had 13 three-point conversions in game number 2, which they won, and they had only 9 in game number 1. And you take a look also at the disparity in the rebounding department, where San Miguel has a big edge, but in the assists, you've got San Miguel, number 1 in the conference in assists, averaging 21 assists a game. But in this quarterfinal series, Barangay Ginebra's defense has forced San Miguel Beer to issue the passes a little bit too late and not too many. They're only averaging 10.5 assists a game. Credit that to Barangay Ginebra's superior defense.
Well, Quinito, no question, this has been a very exciting quarterfinal series. And, you know, when big games come, big-time players step up. And for Barangay Ginebra, a guy who has stepped up compared to the elimination round has been the fearless Ronald Tubid.
Well, Ronald Tubid had an absolutely awesome game in game number 2. And he scored 5 of Barangay Ginebra's last 7 points in the 4th quarter. And he sealed the deal for Ginebra. In the quarterfinals, he's averaging 16.5 points a game. In the eliminations, 11.6. So you see that this is one player who clearly is stepping up. His percentages are up, his numbers are up, and even his block shots. I mean, he's playing tough defense. All around, he's playing a super two-way game.
Well, if you know Ronald Tubid, he is certainly a kind of player who loves these types of situations, who loves the playoffs, who loves the cameras, who loves the crowd. And this is his type of game, and he has definitely been the man so far in the first 2 games for Barangay Ginebra. Well, on the other side of the coin, one guy who has matched Ronald Tubid shot for shot, even surpassed him, is Dondon Hontiveros.
Well, Hontiveros has been a scorching scorer here for San Miguel. He's got his confidence back, and he's showing that he can live up to this playoff pressure. And Dondon Hontiveros, last time out, he had 35 points in game number 2. And that was a career high for him. You take a look at also what he's done in the eliminations as against the quarterfinals. You talk about players stepping up. And Dondon Hontiveros has really taken his game to the next level here in the quarterfinals.
Well, Dondon Hontiveros certainly making Coach Shot Tangkinsen proud with his performances here in the quarterfinals. But, you know, with Barangay Ginebra, Quinito, we knew that they had a lot of injuries during the season. Mark Aguiwa was out, and a guy who really did step up during the eliminations has been JJ Helterbrand. But he has not performed the way he has performed in the eliminations here in the quarterfinals.
You know, you get the feeling that JJ Helterbrand is enjoying his role as a second option in offense for Barangay Ginebra, realizing that the focus of San Miguel's defense is on him. So he's passing the ball, he's making his teammates involved, and his numbers are down as a result of that. But hey, nobody's complaining because this series is tied at 1-1, and Barangay Ginebra has a chance to win it here in game number 3 and advance to the semifinals. But JJ Helterbrand scoring, his lead is so important for Barangay Ginebra in game number 3.
Well, in a way, that can be a little bit encouraging for Barangay Ginebra fans that they have been able to win without the explosion from JJ Helterbrand. And now, a lot of people, when we do coverage with the Dean here, always look forward to the Dean's list. And we're going to take a look at the keys to winning. And Quinito has listed out what these 2 teams have to do in order for them to move on to the semifinals.
Well, let's take a look at San Miguel. And my theme here is upsize is upsize. And the reason for that is because they certainly have a size advantage over Barangay Ginebra, so they've got to use it. Number 1 is their interior attack. Why not post deep? And this is where they have a major advantage. Vic Penisi doesn't get his points close to the basket, but he's got to be able to reform and transform. Jay Washington has also to post up a lot more and try to score from inside. Dorian Peña, you know what he can do inside. But the interior attack is something that San Miguel Beer has to put emphasis as against outside shooting. Their second unit barrage, also very important, because in the first 2 games of San Miguel against Barangay Ginebra in the eliminations, they averaged 48 bench points. But here in the quarterfinals, their bench really has not exploded. They're averaging only 28 points. That's minus 20 in bench scoring in the quarterfinals for San Miguel. Finally, they've got to space the floor. You saw initially when we talked about the comparative statistics how San Miguel is not getting the ball moving around. They're averaging only 10 assists a game, where in the conference they're number 1 with 21. So they need more spacing to be able to move away from the very stifling defense of Ginebra.
So tignan natin kung papasa